alternate timeline as all of it being a purgatory journey, right, Braden? So I'll let you.
That's not exactly what I think.
I don't know. Just because Michael's on the island doesn't necessarily mean he can't be in between off the island as well.
Yeah.
I don't know if they really ever said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I almost think that wasn't there something mentioned that they were in some other part of the plane, or did I hear that in an interview? Probably.
What's that?
That Michael and Walt were in some other portion of the plane, or that could have just been somebody.
Yeah, the back.
I don't remember that.
That we didn't see the tail section at all during the
racist.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Oh.
So is everybody of the understanding that Walt wasn't in it just because he grew up? Can everybody just accept that and move on?
Yeah,
or?
I pretty much understood
You could
that.
say that Walt wasn't in the church because Walt wasn't dead yet at that point in time.
But
no, they were all dead. Like everybody in
Walt had to be dead.
I think it
Is
suffered
dead.
because it was a TV show instead of a movie. They had time constraints to deal with.
I jumped to your camera
I
after you're
know.
done talking.
I'm done.
Was Echo too old?
Echo just wanted off the show.
Yeah.
From my understanding. Does anybody thought anything about the concept of nirvana? Jack kind of touched on that in the Jimmy Kimmel Aloha to Lost thing afterwards. Does anybody have a comment on they think that plays into fact here at all? I'll go on with my own theory in the fact that I think when they were going into those flashes in the alternate timeline, that was them achieving nirvana. As far as the science and everything is going, I really do think that there were two timelines. You have the original timeline, in which the time traveling did all exist and everything, and the bomb went off, but the bomb was basically the same as the incident, and it went on as far as the island staying there, and the incident was the bomb. And then you have what the bomb also created, which is the alternate timeline. Think of it, Doc Brown, Back to the Future, drawing on the chalkboard, the timeline skewing off, and you have that parallel timeline going along with the original timeline on through the cosmos, whatever you have you. And they both existed. And then eventually you have those people that were connected through the island starting to realize about this other timeline, Desmond being one of the first, and Faraday.
I veto.
You veto my theory?
I veto that theory mostly because John Locke says he doesn't have a son. Jack doesn't have a son.
But couldn't he have a son in the alternate timeline just because...
No, he has no son. There's no son. Why wasn't the son in the church?
If you go with the alternate timeline theory, because I have read a lot of books about all those different theories, it is possible that at one juncture, if one thing happens, the two universes split off, and then it never says that every decision or experience has to be the same except for that one moment. It could have very well happened that if that bomb went off and skewed it, then it is entirely possible that Jack would have had a son, and this would have changed everybody's history in some way. There would be some same choices. There would be some different ones.
And that seems to be
I think
what
it's totally
happened.
plausible.
Hey, remember the time loop theory?
Yeah, that was horrible. As far as... I believed it when I first read it. TimeLoopTheory.com is where that came from. I think he finally gave up the site. Okay, along with that, Adam, how do you explain the end with them, what I called achieving nirvana with the flashes and stuff?
Well, I don't know of any theories about this, because any theories between alternate universes is that unless there's some field protecting the person who jumping back and forth, they would have no idea of what went on. But since the island is weird and whacked out, it's possible the connection from the island is somehow, just like Desmond, connecting the two different realities, and there might just be something triggered, like, oh, I want to go really weird science. There's some weird particle that transcends time that just strikes these people at one point, links them both, gets their memories back, and makes them go into a weird seizure that they think they're someone else. I don't know.
And the light in the church. Any comments on that? Anybody?
I liked
Well, what about what about Christian Shepherd? I mean, didn't he say they were all dead?
He did.
They're all dead. Oh my god! I'm gonna just interject here right now. Why are you guys making this so complicated? Why are you trying so
Because
hard
it's
to
lost.
make the science of this like work out so much? Like this show was all about sociology, and it was all about how people interact with each other and about what it means to be connected to certain people and how other people shape your life. That's what the show was about. That's what they.
But in
have to
time
do.
travel, don't forget time travel.
Yeah, how do you fit
That
time
was just
travel
for
into
the
that?
oldest.
It was
And
all
electromagnetism.
so they would meet each other, so that they, so, you know, you had to use they had to use time travel so that you know, certain people could meet each other. You know, whatever made whatever happen. I just think it's hilarious. It doesn't. It's just so funny that you guys just have to take this like purgatory thing to this just extreme scientific level, which is fine, but that's just not how I saw the show at all. That's not what I saw. You know, that's not the whole meaning of the show, and that's what I feel like you guys miss a lot, and a lot of people are missing is this overarching.
I don't think
theme.
any of us are saying that the science is the basis of the show. We all watch the show because the characters were interesting, the situations were interesting. It's just fun to pick apart small things like this. We think it's fun. We're nerds.
I know.
Yeah, but they're
I
dead.
look at the
They're dead.
science Of it. I'm looking. I just look completely at the other side of things. And that's what I enjoyed about the ending of the show is that Christian. You know, I have Christian Shepherd's whole long speech with, you know, well, you know, we all die sometimes. You know, it doesn't. It's like they're putting it to rest. It's like it doesn't matter when everybody died. It doesn't. You know, there's so many things that don't matter. It was just that these people met each other, and it was the circumstance that they met each other under that mattered in the end, and that's it.
Something else, you guys are talking about all the flashes. Most of them saw a person in the flash, or two people, like Charlie saw Claire and Aaron. Jack saw everybody before he saw Kate. So I just thought of that just now. Like, maybe that's why those were all the people that were there together, because they needed to move on as a group because Jack was so connected to all of them. I don't know.
I agree.
Yay.
Yeah,
agree.
Jack did appear as the leader more often than not through the entire series.
Yeah,
So
so
were
they
all the
needed his
people
leader,
the
they needed-
constants? Is that what everybody was looking for?
The constants as far as when they like, for
Yeah.
instance, Sawyer and Juliet touched hands, they were each other's constants, and that's what caused their flashing or whatever.
Yes, I think
I
so.
didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Well, what about Saeed?
Saeed, is that what you said?
Remember Nadia? Anybody remember Nadia?
Yeah.
Yeah, we saw Nadia in
Yeah.
this episode.
But
Her, I guess
Shannon was
she's not his constant. Tough luck.
Shannon was Saeed's love.
on the island after the plane crash. I think that's why
Yeah.
that was. Yeah.
That's up for debate, I think, as far as who was Saeed's true love and everything. But throughout, I mean, their romance on the show between Shannon and Saeed is who I'm talking about now. They were the quickest romance, as it seems, but they, as far as their acting was concerned, I felt as if they loved each other. And then Shannon goes and dies, and Saeed spends 3-4 episodes or so grieving over her. I mean, he's the only one on the show that actually grieved a lost one, I believe, for the longest amount of time.
But even after she died, he went and married somebody else.
Well, Shannon was dead. And he was kind of limited on options.
Right. I mean, it's like if I'm really hungry and all I have is an apple, but even though I hate apples, I'm gonna eat that apple.
The other thing is when Saeed and Shannon finally got together, I think it brought Saeed some peace, and he didn't worry so much about his past. But Nadia was very tied into his past,
Ooh.
which was rocky.
Well, yeah, that's what I was just thinking. Does Nadia represent Saeed's sordid past, and Shannon was his new beginning on the island?
Yeah, that was his moving on point when he met her, and then it got taken away from him.
I'll accept that.
Okay.
Second.
Excellent. We're all agreed upon one thing. All right. Last.
Who was really pleased that Lapidus was alive?
Yeah,
that caused the biggest cheer as far as the